welcome to Rise to Meet You, a comedy podcast where two Asian friends try to be funny.
Yes. Or we can do always offensive, sometimes funny. I'm your host, Nigel.
I'm your host, Evelyn Mock.
I like that tagline, because it is very accurate.
I know, because of you.
I love it. And also, people need to know, I say all this offensive shit because it tickles me. I think I have a fucked up sense of humor.
Yes.
That's the issue.
I don't think anybody disagrees, Nigel.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah. But, that's the great thing about the internet. You always find your crew, your gang, and people with fucked up sense of humor, or people who like to see celebrity chefs getting roasted. I'm their guy.
You are their guy,
Yes.
Definitely.
But it's another episode,
dear.
people. I'm a little bit hungover.
Why?
Well, because I drank last night. Went out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Well, I have a bone to pick with you, Nigel.
What?
Because, dear listeners, I am in London, but as you can see, we're still doing this remotely. Why, Nigel? Why am I not at your house?
You said it saves you more time.
You said it saves you more time.
Yeah, it saves both of us time. It's good. And my
You
house is
said
being
that.
constructed, and it's really messy, and I don't want to set up all three cameras because when the builders come, I have to tear them all down and all that shit.
Oh,
You know?
poor you, Nigel. Poor you.
When the house is ready, patience.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
When it comes to interiors, here's what I learned. Nice things take time. Okay?
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're prioritizing your interiors over us recording the podcast.
We're recording like this, aren't we?
We are recording like this.
Yeah.
But I'm in London.
Yeah, but
Just could have easily come over.
I'm too busy to tear this down. If I set it up now, I don't trust my builders to put my cameras aside. They're going to break it. So let me just put this. It's already set up because I film my Uncle Roger videos, and you will see the place. Just give it some time. I want it to be a spectacular reveal.
A spectacular reveal.
Yeah, spectacular.
Meanwhile, he has somebody coming over right now.
Not right now. Oh, well, no, I have a friend coming over to visit. Yes. Just a friend. Just a friend, listeners. I'm just a lonely single guy. Just a friend. Guy friend, okay. Coming to visit from the Midlands. Yeah.
From the Midlands.
Yeah, it's Danny. Good
Danny
guy.
Clives.
Yeah, so we're going to have a
Very
good time.
sweet man.
Gonna drive around in my Tesla to get food.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm actually also meeting friends. I have a friend coming over
Yeah,
to London, Jonathan Rollins. Shout out. He's coming over to
Oh,
watch
I know
the
him.
NFL game.
I met him.
Oh, yeah, you met John. Yeah.
A black American guy who lives in Sweden now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had wine near your house
Yes.
the other when he was here the other time. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah.
What,
yeah.
do you really want to come?
So we both have friends.
Yeah, I never doubted that you had friends, Evelyn. No need to defend yourself. You have friends. I know you have friends. Yeah, but also you coming here, it's not ready yet, man. There's
You've had so many people over. Why am I the last one to come?
I haven't had anyone over. I've just
You
been by
had the
myself
friend-
all this time.
You had the friend who gave you hand cream over.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
You're
You're
staying in the
having Danny
guest room.
over. Yeah.
You have your own hotel. It's easier.
Yeah, I have my hotel now. Yeah.
Okay. The reality is I'm too lazy to set up an extra mic, an extra camera, and I have to tear it down after I leave because the builders will do some work here.
And so I had to drag all my gear to London and set it up in my tiny little hotel room.
Oh.
When I was going to set it up,
Okay.
I was going to set it up the other way because as you can see, I've set it up against the TV and desk and it's super tiny. I was going to set it up so that I would sit on the bed and we would film against the bed because there's a really nice kind of a big, what's it called? Artwork here as well that's of London, but then when I set it up against the bed I was like, it just looks like I'm gonna shoot porn. Just a girl sitting on a bed talking
No, actually
about herself.
I wish you did
porn.
that. For the next episode, can you do that so we actually get more views? We put a
No, we've
thumbnail.
already-
Thumbnail is just you on the bed, and people think, "Ooh,
Yeah.
what's this?"
Yeah, exactly.
What's
and
this?
I'm wearing this like shirt that I can't really close because of my boobs. So it's like that. It just looks like porn. It just looks like porn. But instead, it's just a lady talking about all of the anxiety she has.
Yeah. That's a funny that you brought that up because we had a call yesterday with our sketch show producer, and it's just basically one of the sketches had to be rewritten, and then you wrote about your anxiety, and it's such a tragic life, you know.
No,
such a tragic life.
And Nigel, well, we have to give context because we, yes, as Nigel said, we had to cut one of the sketches and then come up with one like on the spot.
Yeah, we had to cut Pussy Psychic, people. You know, all the podcast favorites have been cut. It's very sad. Vegan slave owner, Pussy Psychic, and it's been cut because apparently it's very anti-feminist to be able to see a woman's future in their pussy. Which I feel it's... Is it anti-feminist?
Can't you hear how problematic it is just by saying it out loud? But also I also hear how ridiculous it sounds.
I was laughing. You were laughing. And, you know, and I really... Okay, when you say anti-feminist, where exactly? People say it doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah.
And a Bechdel test is what? If in a movie or something where a woman character only talks about sex?
No, so when there's a scene with two women and they only talk about men, then it doesn't pass the Bechdel test because of how it's traditionally been where films and stuff are written and women are only reflections of men in like media and film. And so in order to pass the Bechdel test, it's kind of like a test to see if the female character is fully fledged or not. And this is a response to, because usually when it's films written by men, the women are only there to serve the male character.
Yeah. I think women should write more films where guys just talk about women, you know, as revenge, right? But I like initially the sketch idea was, you know, sew it up, bitch, go traveling. And I wanted to be a pussy psychic. So it got changed. Which would
have made it even more problematic.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's already offensive anyway. So why not go take all the hits? You know?
Oh my God.
What's anti-feminist about being palm reading? Is that anti-feminist?
No, well, it was problematic. Well, the feedback that we got from some of the people who read it was that it's problematic because you're literally looking into a woman's vagina and telling her if she's gonna get dick or not. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how that's problematic. I understand. However, at the same time, it's like, I mean, I thought the sketch, to be quite honest, the sketch lost its way a little bit for me. So I didn't really know what the point was that we had with it. But in the end, when we actually got to a place where we were like, okay, this is the sketch we're going to make. I thought it was quite funny. Like when we read it, when we had the read through, because it changed into me being the pussy psychic. And then we had the read through with the girl that I was doing a reading for. And it was really funny because she was really funny.
Yeah. When I think of that sketch, I just think how ridiculous it is. I don't think it's anti-feminist. I just think this is an insane idea. I love it. It's so crazy.
But also the amount of meetings we've had where we've discussed a sketch called Pussy Psychic seriously. Like we've discussed it so seriously.
I know.
And it's called Pussy Psychic. And I'm like,
can we just have some fun, you know? It's okay, it's a shame it got cut, but whatever, you know, we move on. Maybe one day when I have the time, we'll make it properly, where we don't have the constraints of it has to be sex positive. What about a pussy psychic makes you think she or he is gonna be sex positive? It's gonna be a grumpy middle-aged woman who's just bitter she doesn't get laid anymore.
Well, the thing... Okay, yeah. So if you don't understand what you just said was problematic, Nigel.
Yeah.
I cannot help you.
It's funny because it's problematic. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Saying the right shit is not that funny. Saying the wrong shit, if executed correctly, I'll add that, can be really funny. It's like almost like a taboo topic that you just, you know.
And I'll counter with saying the right shit, but in a in a creative and satirical way.
Too.
Is very funny
that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think a good sketch show should have both, a little bit of both. But in this sketch show, it's just saying the right shit in a funny way, which is okay. I guess it's a corporate environment. There's only so much we can do. So yeah.
I don't think so. I think we have a few sketches that
saying the wrong problematic shit but executed in a funny way.
That I think we have a few jokes that are a bit under the belt and a bit like on the edge, like in the arranged fuck buddy one and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, like, the thing is with Pussy Psychic, like, for me it was like, oh, we're taking the piss out of, you know, people who, like, when you go to a psychic, basically all you want to know is, am I gonna get laid, right? Because that's basically what you want to know. You want to know.
Was that your initial like idea?
That was my that was my thought of it. Like, and so we're just taking the piss by actually having. We're like, oh, she's just gonna read your vagina and she's gonna tell you if you're gonna get dick or not.
That wasn't my initial impression of it.
What was your initial impression?
Wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if I could read your pussy lips like tea leaves? Wouldn't it be funny? And the answer is yes, it would be funny. And offensive, but it would be really funny.
I think I even wrote that in the first draft, didn't I? Like, Pussy Psychic reads her vagina like tea leaves.
Yeah, I think pussy lips like tea leaves is a funnier sentence though. Just pour some water and wait for it to dry. And like, oh, I see the fractals. I see the fractals in your lips. But alas, it's not gonna get made. Same with vegan slave owner.
The thing is, it's so funny because Nigel,
misunderstood genius, people.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's so funny though because you're talking to people as if you're talking about the greatest hits of the but like nobody's read the sketches, Nigel. And
they never will, unfortunately. They never will. Maybe I'll put it in my stand-up. How do I segue it into my stand-up? By the way, guys, would it be funny if I
could read your pussy lips like tea leaves?
I need to figure out a way to work it into one of my contents, you know.
One of your contents.
But also, one really funny thing is, one of the actors we wanted to cast for this is like the most depressing looking, lack sense of humor actors that Evelyn has had the pleasure to work with before.
Nigel! This is a person, Nigel's referring to a person who was approached to be in the show.
Yes.
But instead provided a bunch of feedback.
Yeah, it's like, that's why you're an unemployed actor. Because people give you sites to read and you reply in an email. Just send me the fucking self-tape or say no. You know what that does, this person involved? Like, if I ever make it big, I'm never casting you in shit. And guess what? You're Asian. I'm Asian. There's not that many Asian people are gonna make shit here in this country. So...
Oh my god, Nigel.
Burn that bridge, baby. But I get it. That sketch is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. I get it. That's why I wanted to play Pussy Psychic. Or the person whose pussy is being read. You know?
Oh yeah, oh my god.
So one method, one thing I suggested to them on how to fix it was I should play the woman whose pussy was getting read.
So, you know? Okay, so yes, Nigel, you suggested this as a way to save the sketch.
Yeah.
You were like, what if I cross-dress as Lily? And you wrote it to me in WhatsApp the night before our meeting. And I was like, haha, that's funny. And then you actually pitched it in the meeting and I was like, listen, Nigel, I thought you were
joking. If something is offensive, you gotta give them too many things to be offended by, so they won't know what to write about. So the message gets diluted, you know? So instead of, oh, Nigel Ng, very anti-feminist, it's Nigel Ng, anti-feminist / transphobic / this, and then people will be like, so what is he exactly? There's too many words, too many big words.
Oh my God. So you're the new Dave Chappelle. You're the new, like, I'm just going to give them so many things, so many balls to, to hit back.
Not on purpose. Not on purpose. I do it because it's funny, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it would be really funny. You can imagine our dynamic. And then you're reading my pussy. Come on, listeners. You can't say it's not funny. I'm laughing already thinking about this.
Nigel dressed up as a woman, and then I'm looking at his snatch and reading. Well, one of the other suggestions for saving it was to make it that I was reading your dick. And I was like, well, that's
psychic.
Worse. That's worse.
The dick psychic can be funny too. Probably in a different way. Yeah. A pussy psychic, it rolls off the tongue better, I think.
Yeah. You know? Pussy psychic does, yeah. But it was so funny. And we tried so many ways to like save it, but it didn't work.
It's okay. With a risque sketch like that, you know, not everybody's going to want to take risks. We're not at the level yet where people will let us take risks, you know? Like if you're at Dave Chappelle's level, Netflix will be like, yeah, here's 100 million. Say whatever you want. And we'll have Morgan Freeman in your trailer. Like, Morgan Freeman probably knew what shit Dave Chappelle was going to say, and he's still like, yeah, Dave, that's fine. I'll be in a trailer with you.
That's funny.
You know?
That's funny.
So that's my goal as an artist, as a creator, to get to the level where people
where you
just
can
be
get
like...
Jackie Chan in your trailer. Where you could get Jackie Chan to do your trailer. Nigel Ng.
Yeah.
Uncle Roger.
I don't want no trouble.
Who am I? Who is he? Who is Nigel Ng?
Oh, one day, man. One day. We'll work on it, people.
Isn't it funny that, like, for the black community, Morgan Freeman is like the like, you know, the great, one of the goats. And for us, it's Jackie Chan.
What's wrong with Jackie Chan?
No, the thing is, he is one of the goats because he is amazing, but also he's so funny. Like, you know, Jackie Chan has like this kind of like comedic, uncle-y thing.
He's a comedic actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It's kind of like,
I would love to have Jackie Chan in to open my special.
Yeah, but it would be like having, you know, because if you have Morgan Freeman, it's like, oh, it's so like, there's an air of, you know, but if you have Jackie Chan, it's like, it would be like if you had Will Smith, I guess, because Will is like a bit silly and I don't know what I'm saying here, but
I think you lost it. I see what I'm trying to say, but I think it fits my tone. You know, my stand-up special is gonna be lighthearted and fun and slightly offensive, but lighthearted and fun. You know, and I have to say in my stand-up, if you come to see my tour, I have some bits. You know, I think a lot of food jokes. You know, 90% of the stuff is just, you know, very universal and fun, and 10% is like slightly on the edge there. But stuff I've found a way to make work on stage, and I'm very, 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 very excited. So, listeners, if you bought tickets, you're in for a treat, you know. And
when does it start?
November, 1 more month. Yeah, and it's shitty. I want to do a lot more previews and work on the material more, but you know, we have been so busy with the sketch show and me and my YouTube as well. So, but the show is already ready, listeners. Don't worry, you know. I also on the tour, the show is gonna get better as the tour progresses too. Yeah.
So go see it in the later dates.
Yeah. My early dates are already all sold out anyway, so you don't have a choice. You have to go see it at a later date. So sorry, Saws. But yes, we changed the sketch with something else, didn't we?
We did. We put a different sketch in. So basically, in the meeting yesterday, we just kind of had to come up with a sketch. And consider all the constraints we had. So we had to be in the same location as we were going to be. It had to basically just be us two because we can't really afford any more cast. And
initially, I pitched the sketch I did, which is, you know how auto captioning on videos and TV shows, auto subtitling that gets more and more racist when there's an Asian person on screen. You know, because I've seen like a Bruce Lee documentary, and then they have like Bruce Lee saying stuff, and Bruce Lee has an accent, right? And the auto capture is just completely fucked up. And then, but when it cuts back to the white person, it's completely correct. That's why I got the idea. And it escalates. At the end, the auto captioning just says "ching chong, ching ching chong."
And then our producer was
it just says this. Remember this? Ching. Ching chong, ching chong, ching. Oh yeah. Ching.
I actually got a DM from somebody who asked me if we could play the song in the next episode. So you got it.
Yes, we'll close the episode with this song. We'll close the episode with this song. But yeah, the producer said, I don't think Comedy Central let us say ching chong, ching chong.
Yeah. She just went, yeah, I really like the idea. Maybe not the ching chong in the end, but the idea's good.
You see what listeners, you see what I'm working against here?
I mean, you see what the production is working with? I would rather phrase it that way. You see what the production is working with?
Did you not see how much joy the Ching Chong song brought to people?
I mean...
It brought me a lot of joy. It brought me so much joy. For those 2 weeks, life was great. I was just chuckling to myself. And sure, I get it. Corporates, they can't really put ching chong in there. Although it's a real thing that happens in the world and people I've got yelled ching chong at before, But I get it. But it's funny though. It's really funny.
It's funny, but then it was like, they were like, yeah, maybe not ching chong.
Yeah. And I want to say, if not ching chong, then what? Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me how it escalates. Tell me.
Well, that was the thing. It was a few too many things to figure out in the time limit we had.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so we ended up with I started talking about anxiety. Yeah. I don't just talk about anxiety on the podcast, everybody. I talk about it in my professional meetings as well.
I know. That's so annoying because Evelyn thinks they're jokes, and I'm like,
they are jokes.
It can be funny, but like I replied to the email today. It's like, yes, a lot. Sometimes it feels like some guy just complaining about things.
Okay, let us explain.
Okay, let's phrase it.
So basically, the sketch that we then came up with was because I was like, I want to be Nigel's inner child, and we can have a conversation. And then it was like, oh, what if it's I represent your inner voice, or a sleep demon, and I represent all of the anxious thoughts that you have before you fall asleep, which is super common. And everybody was like, yeah, that's good, very okay. And everybody's trying to get their head around it, and Nigel just goes, I don't have those thoughts. What are you talking about? And everybody was like, what? You don't have like anxious thoughts before you go to sleep? What do you think about? And you were like, oh, just like sometimes I think, oh, should I move my lamp from my left side to the right side? And then you fall asleep, and everybody was like, what?
It's a problem with you people, with you first world fucks. All this anxiety ridden. Meanwhile, I'm just enjoying life. I'm like, yeah, nice house, nice car. Life is good. Like, seriously, what do I have to be anxious about?
No, but I think you've probably just been spared anxiety. I think so. And also, like, because it's such a...
Well, I think I've learned how to deal with it.
Or you've learned how to deal with it. Yeah. You're so well adjusted. You've learned how to deal with it.
Don't be like, oh, you just was spared anxiety. Come on, everybody has anxiety. We all have, like, we think about money problems, relationship problems,
I guess maybe that's like, yeah, maybe your anxiety is less neurotic and more practical.
Well,
like, it's triggered by more practical stuff.
That kind of thing. I think I'll have more anxiety when I had my day job because of the pressures of work. But now I'm doing the stuff I want to be doing, and it's good. It's good. Yeah. You tell me 5 years ago when I started comedy that this would be where I'm at, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take that,
But don't you think, don't you have like social anxiety? Like, don't you sometimes, walk into a room and you're like, oh, I hope people don't think I'm weird, or I hope my outfit looks good. I hope I don't smell.
Yeah, for like a split second, and then that thought goes away. Because I think, I hope I don't smell. And I think, nah, I sprayed on my Creed Aventus. I'm gonna smell, but I'm gonna smell good. And then the thought just disappears, and I go in and be charming. That's my life. That's my life.
So meanwhile, when we settled on that sketch, so that me, Nigel, and our script editor Emerald had a meeting just to come up with like ideas for it. And in that meeting, it was just me just riling off all of my anxiety.
And then I come
how
up with
it works.
Yes, and then I come up with how I think when I get faced with those thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Want to give a few examples?
So one example that made me laugh so hard when I read it back was I basically said, I was like, sometimes I wonder if in a professional setting, if people actually take me seriously or if they just think I'm a big child, like just like a giant baby, because I kind of look like a baby, like an Asian baby. I kind of look like Kim Jong-un and he kind of looks like a giant baby. And so I was doing this, like the kind of rattling off, just exemplifying how, my mind works as well. And so that was one of the examples. And then, and then you said, what did you counter with?
Well, the work stuff, what did I counter with? I know for a fact people take me seriously. It's how you carry yourself. And there's certain things you can do and learn, certain mannerisms you can learn to, be taken more seriously at work. And sure, as a woman, you probably face more hardship in that department. Still certain things you can fix about yourself. It's not a big problem. Just learn those cues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then what was it you said? Your rich friends.
I have rich friends who, when we go out to eat, I'm sure they always want to go to Nobu, Araki, expensive sushi places. But then they tell me, when they hang out with me, we go to cheaper places. I'm like, oh, that's very thoughtful. That's very thoughtful. So the bill is not awkward. We all split, 4 ways, whatever.
And then I thought, I was like, well, that would make me think, why are they patronizing me? Why do they think that I can't pay as much as they can? Why is that like that? And so,
you see how different we think and how depressing it is? Like, okay, another story. I was at the gym the other day, a few days ago, and I was just doing my own workout, and it was empty except for this one white lady. She just walked up and she said, hey, just started talking. And she said, have you seen Squid Game? You've seen Squid Game? I'm like, yeah, I have seen Squid Game. It's so good. I'm only 3 episodes in. Don't spoil it. And then she's like, oh, yeah, it's so good. So many people are going to go as Squid Game characters for Halloween now. And then to me, it's like, oh, yeah, of course she's going to ask if I've seen Squid Game. It's a big worldwide phenomenon, the most popular show on Netflix. But I also thought if Evelyn were here, she would be like, are you only asking that because I'm Asian? Are you only asking if I've seen Squid Game because I look like I could and I'm an extra in it? See, and then that's how different we view the world. And I would say, yes, I lean naive, right? I lean like, I've seen the world wrong before, like the crazy psycho woman, because I see the world in this optimistic, this childlike, naive lens. I get it wrong sometimes. Yes, very depressing way to view the world, but sometimes, I get burned because I'm naive and too optimistic. But Let's say we both get it wrong some of the time. You get it wrong some of the time. I get it wrong some of the time. But, I'm just happier. I'm wrong but happier. You're wrong but miserable. So I think it's a good, positive way to view the world.
Miserable. I think I'm frustrated. I think it's frustrating to live in a position where you're aware enough, but you also are aware enough that you cannot affect change.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for you. It's a very terrible place to be.
All kudos to you for not having to be there then. Yeah. It's interesting because it gives you a lot of insights. It does. But also in that example, if you were to take the woman and she said, have you seen Squid Game? I think in this moment in time, I would have been excited about it because also it's like, oh, she's excited about this world phenomenon that's happened. Everybody's seen Squid Game. I've talked about Squid Game with so many people, and I know that it's Netflix's most streamed series. So obviously that's going to be the show that people talk about, when people talked about Breaking Bad or Sopranos or whatever. So I think in that interaction, I would probably be happy to talk to her about it. But if it were if somebody else came in and started talking to me about some obscure manga that isn't big, then I would have been, okay, it's because of the Asian thing. And you're trying to relate to me with this thing that you've seen because I'm Asian. But because, so, you kind of have to, you do have to be aware of, the world and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you have to be that aware of the world, people. Just live your life. Life is short. Just be unaware. It's okay. Yeah, I make jokes about food and and random shit. Yeah, we don't have to be aware. I think it just makes you miserable. So just go ahead, You can be smart without being aware. That's the best, actually. You can be smart without being aware.
But how are you smart without being aware?
You read books and shit,
But then books make you aware, right?
You compartmentalize it. You read books and you're aware, and then in life you just shut off you just focus on your own thing,
Okay. But that was basically the gist of like the brainstorming meeting when we were coming up with these stuff. It was like me just like rattling off my anxieties.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nigel's just being like, oh, well, I just think, it's nice.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
So in the last episode, I talked about buying a radio and how I wake up to the radio now. And it's been really nice. And you mentioned because my house is so big, I got to get multiple speakers, put it all parts of the house. And my mom listened to the episode and she sent me a WeChat message saying that, hey, Nigel, you don't need to buy a radio or speaker. Just don't need to get so many speakers. Just get one giant speaker and put it in the middle of the house so the whole house can hear it. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if my mom knows how sound works. And then I just kind of texted her this long explanation. No, Sonos is different. it connects all the rooms. And she was like, I was just joking, son. Ha ha. I was like, oh, shit. My mom's trying her hair at comedy now. So it's cute.
Really
it's a very
cute.
It's a very cute joke. Thank you, Mom. Thanks for listening.
It's really sweet. And that's such a mom joke.
Yeah.
Or that's such a dad joke.
Such a joke Uncle Roger would do. And it's cute. But over WeChat, it's really hard to see that people are joking. You know? So
yeah. Over
good.
text you. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really cute. But also I'm thinking how big would the speaker have to be? How big would it need to be to just get the sound out to all of the house?
Pretty big.
It would have to be a huge speaker.
Big house problems, man. How many watts does my subwoofer need to feel the bass thumping?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I lived in a studio flat again. Like your place. One speaker. Done. You should do that.
I could actually just have one tiny speaker. I have one of those I have one that's this big, and I just put it outside on my kitchen table, and then I hear it everywhere. The thing is, I think my apartment is it used to be it used to be a studio that they made into a one bedroom. So it's really, really small. And I just got a couch as well. And my couch is it's only 1 meter, 45 centimeters. So it's tiny. Mm-hmm. It's really, really small. So I'm kind of this is how I live now.
Well,
as a 33-year-old.
I think you need 145 is not that bad. Okay. And a couch, it needs to feel like it belongs there. If your space is small, you can't buy a big couch. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. That's like buying a big TV, It feels very working class. If you have a TV that's too big for your... Isn't that a working class stereotype?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, it is. First thing you do is buy a big TV. And the thing about a TV is rich people have big TVs too. But the trick is it needs to feel proportional to the room. So listeners, if you don't want to look working class... very offensive. It's very offensive. But let's just go with it. There are calculators online. I realized that because I just bought a TV recently. There are calculators online that show you your viewing distance and then the optimum TV size. So it feels in harmony with your room. So your TV size feels in harmony with your room.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what? So to have a huge TV, you have to have a really big room? Is that the...
Yeah. Small room, big TV, ultimate working class recipe.
My cousin actually has a huge TV in her living room. And it's not...
Does it feel big?
Yeah, I got a bit dizzy watching it because I literally have to go like this. Like I have to turn my head kind of like when you're reading sometimes, but like I had to turn my head to follow people on the screen. So I got dizzy when I watched it. And she was like, yeah, I got like that too, but it took like a day and I'm used to it. I was like, okay.
Wow, that's too big.
I go like
it's not IMAX. I don't want IMAX in my living room.
Yeah, it's IMAX. It's IMAX, yeah.
I think you have a small couch, but you need a big speaker, and you need a big speaker to drown out the crazies in your apartment complex. That's what you need.
You know what? I actually just met the lady who gets drunk sometimes and sleeps outside her door.
What did you say to her? I've heard a lot about you. I've talked about you a lot on my podcast.
Do you know Race to Meet You? So she she was coming out of the elevator and I was going into the elevator, and so I just went like, oh hi, and immediately she started shouting at me. So she just went like she maybe wasn't shouting at me, but she was shouting, and she just went, I don't know who he is. I'm so, like, I didn't know he was gonna do that. Oh, I didn't know why he would do that. And then she started saying a name, and I was like, that's what. And then she just kept saying, yeah, he's gone now. Like, who the hell is he? Why did he do that to me? And I was like, oh shit, she's talking about her husband. And then I just went, okay. Bye. And then just went into the elevator and just like pressed the button to go down really quickly.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And then I told my brother, and he was like, yeah, that's her husband who got kicked out. And I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, and then I had that moment, Nigel. Then I was like, did she just yell at me because she saw an Asian person and she thought that I was my brother who her husband beat up?
In that case, I think I'm probably right. In that case.
Yeah. In that
you
case,
see
I
the
had
Matrix.
that moment.
You see the Matrix of crazy. Yeah. I think her not recognizing you or your brother is the least of her problems.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And honestly, probably a benefit for us too.
Yes.
But
so
it was like,
she thinks she's punched you before, so she won't punch you again.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with crazy people, you know. I think you have to just out crazy them.
How do you out crazy person?
I don't know. I don't know who he is either. But if I see him, let's chop his balls off together. You take one, I take the left, you take the right testicle. I'm gonna make a soup. I'm gonna make a dumpling. And you're invited. And she'll be like, oh, wow, okay. I just meant maybe call the police or something, you know?
Call the police. That's true, actually.
Yeah.
You need to out crazy the crazy to either gain control of the situation or to be able to handle the person who's in the situation.
I think so. I think so.
That's funny. That's really funny.
At this point, should we just do the announcement? We're taking a hiatus. And then we can say, we need to leave our listeners knowing. It is a bit of a shame. I agree. But, you know, I'd rather keep this friendship than just, you know, if we just keep going like this, one day we'll just kind of hate each other for good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think at this point, I like to think our friendship's still intact and we can still work on the sketch show nicely and, you know, and amicably and fun. But, like, you know how podcasts go. I think losing you is more of a shame than losing the pod to me. And I don't think it's either of our faults. I think you know, maybe we've evolved as creators, you know, and I've gone down a route where I love saying outrageous shit, and then different sensibilities, man.
I think I've probably been feeling this way for a while, and if I knew that you had, maybe we could have talked about it in a different way than just when we
I think today
just on the podcast.
You had a catalyst, and I was gonna bring it up after the sketch show because I didn't want it to be awkward on the sketch show, you know.
Okay.
So I think, but you know, today the topic that I knew wasn't gonna end well, but we brought it up, so there was a catalyst, but it's fine.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
things come to an end, and I'm sure we'll work together on other stuff in the future anyway. You know.
Yeah, because I think it really is that thing where creatively, I think we've found our own voices stronger.
Yeah,
and
that's fine. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. Yeah.
And yeah, the way we work, the way we think, like the thing about everything really. Like when we talked about the collaborative efforts of the sketch show versus me feeling like, it's just a lot of stuff I have to filter down, and it's frustrating, and I'm sure it is the same for you too. But the frustration stems from us being very different people, not because we're actively out to frustrate each other.
No,
I
think,
and
it is, yeah, and it is worse if we feel like we're not in the same corner.
Yeah. So
as each other, and it feels like that it's a battle rather than a collaboration.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think. I mean, I wish we could just that it would be a hiatus, and we maybe could come back and find a way of like. But then again, it's like we won't not talk about things that will get us going.
Yeah.
Like we could do it for a bit where. Yeah, we could talk about like, dumplings or, your mom and the speaker joke and stuff. But then it'll ultimately, and it's been happening now. We've been doing it throughout the spring.
Yeah,
and
I know.
We've had several
Which
talks
make me
about it.
Feel like it's a deeper thing,
Yeah.
And with the medium as a podcast, you talk for an hour. It has to go deep.
Yeah.
And then every little thing that. When we're working on a sketch show, we could disagree on certain jokes. It doesn't go that deep, right? The 3-minute sketch is over, But a podcast, you reveal who you really are. And some people, I can be friends, but maybe not work on something creative together that goes this deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd rather keep the friendship than fucking be at each other's throats eventually,
Yeah, I think so too, because it'll just rot it. And I mean, you've probably also noticed that the episodes, like, because I think we both kind of made an effort to not talk about deep stuff or not talk about more interesting stuff, and it doesn't really, it's not as fun or engaging, probably.
I agree. Yeah.
And yeah, it's sad. I'm very sad about this, but
me too.
I think
but I think it's the best thing to do. Right?
I also think it's the best thing to do.
I think we would be sadder if we just killed the friendship.
I don't want that either. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, you know what? I'll thank you because the podcast has given me a lot, and you've given me a lot as well. Like you've
likewise.
It's been really, really good to work with you, and I'm gonna cry. But it's been really good.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you, Nigel.
Oh, thanks, Evelyn. You're gonna make me cry too. Maybe you just release this. This is real, This is real.
Should we release? Should this be the Patreon episode?
No. This should be like the final closing for the podcast. Bittersweet. How we close at Edinburgh show.
I don't want me crying
it's
to be on
sincere.
YouTube
I'm
forever.
Crying too.
You're not crying. You're not crying right now. I'm actually crying.
I think we both. It is sad, but it is the best thing to do if we don't want to end up hating each other.
Yeah.
The same way I thank my ex-wife for leaving. Somebody has to make that difficult move, and and I thank her that she did. That's why we're still friends now.
Yeah. I think this was always going to be something. I think we both felt it. It was on the cusp, and it was going to happen eventually. But yeah, it happened now. So
yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, listeners, that's the big announcement. I guess we're taking a hiatus for a while, and just had a lot of creative differences lately, and we want to keep the friendship alive. So I think Sometimes we get into a lot of debates that we cut out of the pod because it's not fun for anyone to listen to. But then over time, it just made us realize that fundamentally we come from a very different place creatively, you know? Yeah. And it's not either of our faults. It wasn't intentional, but sometimes it frustrates both of us.
I think it frustrates both of us. Yeah. And it's like, and it is that thing of like, you don't want to end up blaming the other person because we know that each other are like, we have good intentions. Yeah. That's the thing. Like we came into this like discovering that we worked very well together. Mm-hmm. But then also I think throughout the podcast, we've both evolved very much as people, but also as creatives. Yeah. Like we've both found our creative voices individually have become stronger. Mm-hmm. We've realized that they might be opposing rather than.
Also, I don't want you in 7 years' time to start a podcast and then with someone else and then going, you know, I was in the depression for 7 years because 7 years ago I did this podcast with Nigel.
But Nigel!
I don't want to be that story.
That's funny.
You know?
If anything, you're the opposite of that story.
Oh, thanks.
As I said, you brought me out
legitimately,
of a lot of things.
I was worried about it. You know, I was like, you know, the stuff that's happened to you, it's bad, and I don't want to be responsible for your next bout of depression. You know, so
you're
we are taking a hiatus out of love.
Out of love.
Yeah.
It's not. I think you're definitely not responsible for that. As I said, it's been. If anything, you've helped me grow.
Maybe it's time for the teacher to let go of the student. You know?
Oh my God. I hope I have some effect on you.
Yeah. You've made me...
No?
You've made me see things from different perspectives more and have more empathy and have more like different ways, different things work for different people. And I can be however impatient. I'm like, why the fuck can you just be like me? You know, I still have a little bit of that, but less now. You know?
That's good. Yeah.
And trying to, I know, be a better person, be a more human person. I'm less on the spectrum now than when we first met. So.
Are you?
I think so, a little. I'm still on the spectrum. But I'm on the more like gentle end of the spectrum, you know? No.
The gentle end. That's funny.
And also, like, I think working on the sketch show has still been really fun, despite the frustrations. But that's more the frustration with the medium and the format, and also I you know, for a podcast where you're talking for an hour each week, you have to go really deep, right? And then you inadvertently you will hit that
spot.
Core
impasse.
Creatively that we both have. Like, one of the examples would be like I say something crazy and Evelyn, you feel like you have to be my counter, and I feel like, but we have this opportunity to say crazy shit because nobody's controlling this. Why don't you just join me? So there's no right answer to it, you know. It's just our sensibilities.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not me. Yeah. It's probably not me, and it's possibly not what I think about certain stuff. And like you can still make jokes and stuff, but it's like. Yeah, it is that thing. It's just not me. I think.
And saying inappropriate shit is me. I did that at the office. I got into a lot of trouble for it.
Yeah, you got sent to HR all the time.
A lot, yeah. Even university, my university jobs. So it is me.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's
I worked at a call center. My manager was called Jennifer Klink. And one day I just made fun of her name. Like, oh, you're so clinky, Jen. You know, you're so clinky. You know.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I thought it was funny. I laughed.
She's probably been teased for that name like all her life. Yeah. And you're like, hey, Clink.
Yeah. I didn't know you were so clinky, Jenny. She was talking about a story about her and her boyfriend setting up a tent in the living room. You know,
what?
Why people love doing that sometimes. They're talking about setting a tent, and I was like, oh, very clinky. And she just she just didn't talk to me for the rest of the shift.
Okay, so because you made a sexual innuendo and
Yeah.
made fun of her.
Take a joke. I mean, you're talking about building a tent in the middle of the living room with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the tent? Come on.
Yeah. She deserves to be made fun of for making a tent in the living room. That definitely, yes.
Who's making a tent and not fucking in it? Who?
Okay.
So on that note, it's been a journey, people.
It's been a journey.
Keep following our careers. Hopefully, go follow Evelyn. Even if you're Team Nigel, go follow Evelyn on Instagram.
That's very nice, Nigel.
Yeah,
and Team Evelyn, follow Nigel. And don't send him bad stuff.
I don't know if I want your fans to follow me, though.
Come on. They're nice people.
Okay. But we did this out of love. And we're still friends outside of this. Evelyn's still invited to our housewarming. I know. It's not ready yet. Patience.
Are we divorcing and am I your second ex-wife?
I mean, it's a pattern, isn't it?
I'm your first ex-work wife.
See? I know how to handle it. I've been here. I'm preparing you for your future divorce.
Yeah, actually, that's really nice. That's a very good burn. Yeah, thank you. I guess. Let's end it. I'm sorry,
time.
but
and we'll stop the Patreon, and we thank you for all your support over these years. It's been 2.5 years. It's been good.
2.5 years, yeah.
And leave the crying part in. I think it's real, And in this day and age, when do you ever see something real, right?
I don't want people seeing me crying on YouTube.
People love that shit, man. People love that shit. I'm thinking about the views. It was sincere. I meant to cry. But now that we have cried, I'm like, oh, the views, baby. The views.
You didn't cry. Did you
teared
cry?
up a little bit. Then you see in the 4K camera. Yeah, welled up.
Oh, I was like, I couldn't speak and stuff.
Until next time, people. Stay offensive and stay funny.
Be strong enough to be kind. This can't be.
Chong ching chong ching. Ching chong ching chong ching. Ching chong ching chong ching. Ching chong ching ching chong.
I can't believe that's the last outro.
It's a good one. People remember.
All right. Bye.